Here we are again at the big conference with David Revoy, freelance digital artist, art director of the Sintel project. Sintel is a fantasy short movie, totally realized with open source software. And just have some question with you. As an art director, what were the artistic concepts for the Sintel project, and where did you draw inspiration from?
Oh, the artistic project.
Yeah.
You mean the overall idea?
Yeah. How did you develop it?
I think Ton Rosendahl, our producer and also the creator of Blender, with the main chairman and the Blender Foundation, wanted to have a third open movie with more spectacular and more action than Big Bug Bunny and Elephant Dream. That's why we developed, he developed the concept of an open movie with for teenager, and he just started with two ideas. He wanted a girl and a dragon. It was a warrior girl to be a dragon. And of course, we get some very good story writer in the project and director, and all of this mixed around. And because my portfolio was already in fantasy, we decided it would fit in the fantasy world. And of course, when you talk about dragons, it's hard to make a futuristic movie.
Yeah. So you expanded this world, these backgrounds. What were your space to create?
My creative space from the writer and from the director, it was quite large actually, because the writer was very nice to just keep description very, very synthetic. Sometimes you can say me, oh, she just runs through a street. It's a caricature about it, but it's just run through a street, and me, of course, I can imagine all what I want. A poor street, a street with a bridge, and it was this kind. Actually, what I talk about is not in the movie. There is not this kind. It's just an example. But for a lot of things, for example, she talked to a shaman.
Yeah.
And in the story, there wasn't really a description for the shaman. I think the writer talked about a fatherly figure, and so I had a lot of room about this, and I even showed to the team. I did a concept art with a lot of arms, shaman, like creature shaman, and to show them that I can realize a lot of things in a fantasy world with generic words. So I get fortunate enough to have a lot of room for my concept art, but of course, because it's a participative project, there is a lot of artists, and we got a lot of feedbacks. So I had to make the concept pleasant for all the team members at the same time. Of course, this fails sometimes. I can say some people in the team say, oh, okay, no, this is not, but the major party, yes. And you can't realize something that anybody loves. It's really difficult, but it's at least what I tried.
We saw with other studios, for example, Double Negative, they receive instruction and they totally develop scenes inside the same studio. Sintel is the result of a teamwork and networking process. How did you interact with the others, and how did you keep an artistic and creative coherence during all the process?
As an art director, it's a bit easy because I'm art director but main concept artist at the same time, so it was easy to, in the pre-production, when we write the story and when I did all the drawing, just to say, okay, now visually the movie have an identity. So even Network Studio worked with some reference material from this concept art, sometimes less, sometimes more, just a creature, just a background, and they could refer to all other concept art to just say, okay, if I have to invent just a background, it's simple, it just have to fit in this style. So I didn't have to do a lot of action with external, and they did a very good job.
Okay. We talked about open source software. What software did you use, and problems or advantages of open source software for digital painters?
So the software I use are my Paint, mainly in the process, and GIMP Painter. These are both my main tool, and Alchemy, which is a more experimental software. I think the pros and the cons of open source are, of course, the free price. You can install open source on a computer. I can even install it on my mother computer, or just when I go to a friend and just show him what I like about this software. This is a very big advantage, and in a team like this, everyone can install it on his own computer, on a production machine. We are not limited to deploy a large license park. This is good, actually, and after, the other good thing is we can interact with developers, and many more about Blender. For the movie, two very good developers worked, and even more, they too. All the developers of the Blender community worked to bug fixing, so artists could give feedback and directly developer could fix it. And about 2D digital painting, it was almost the same, because the developer was working on Blender, but me, it was with external developers that was helping me through chat IRC.
And cons?
And cons. Cons, I would speak about performance in general. If you have a very strong computer, there is no problem, but for example, brush strokes are very much more fast on the same machine with Photoshop than with GIMP. This is an evidence, and each professional are very care about performance. They want things the faster. They want the software use all the resource of what they buy for the hardware. So this is the main cons, in my opinion. After, there is a lot of feature missing, but there is a lot of new innovative tool. So this is balancing more or less about features.
Okay, thank you so much, David. And
thank you a lot.
A lot of greetings, and you will go to Amsterdam soon, okay?
Yes,
for the Blender conference.
Tomorrow I go to the Blender conference. I will stay for the weekend doing a workshop.
So good luck for your trip. Thank you so much.
Thanks.